going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Eric, and today I'm going to be doing my spoiler review for Black Adam. I did do an out of the theater non-spoiler, so feel free to check that one out if you'd like. But this video will have spoilers galore, so you have been warned. And as for this movie, I walked in with low to no expectations, and I walked out pleasantly surprised. I thought the movie was very fun, and I enjoyed it. I'm gonna say straight up, I did enjoy this movie. There is some flaws, there is some problems. I'll definitely get into those. But by and large, this movie, I had fun with this movie. I thought it was pretty damn good. And one of the better movies in the DCU, which isn't saying much because the DCU has been very disappointing, as I said in my other video. But nevertheless, this movie has been one of the better ones in my opinion. And part of the reason I really liked it, I think, is kind of that historical background, that historical context really kind of brought me into the movie because I'm kind of a history buff, so I always enjoy any kind of historical context. You saw it in Wonder Woman, which is one of my favorite DCU movies. It actually was #1 in my last ranking. We'll see if it's still #1 in my next ranking, but love Wonder Woman, and even like the beginning of Shazam. I like the vibe in the beginning of that movie, and we see some similar scenes here in the beginning of this movie. But taking place in 2600 BC, you see the entire city is pretty much enslaved. You see this awesome kid who's very strong, emotionally, and he's going to do something awesome. You can already tell from the beginning, this kid is not taking this slavery crap, and they actually are going to execute this kid. I thought it was freaking awesome. This kid's going to sacrifice himself just to try to inspire the entire city to break the chains, and it was just a kick-ass scene right there. But as soon as they go to execute him, bam, he's in there in the Shazam cave, whatever, and they give him the powers of Shazam. So he can say Shazam, and you assume at that point that that means he's going to become Black Adam, aka the freaking Rock. So I thought the opening was just killer. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty damn awesome. It really set the stage for the movie, and you see the creation of the Crown of Sabbac in the beginning as well. Very important, because then we jump into modern times, and you see some explorers or whatever are looking for this Crown of Sabbac. And you just get the vibe. Something crazy is going down here. Something insane is going to happen. You meet some of the characters. There is some comic relief early with the guy singing. Kind of funny. No big deal, right? So far, I'm fine with this. It's nothing overly funny, but nothing overly offensive. And they actually awaken Black Adam from his slumber. And this is an awesome scene where he first shows up. Crap goes down. We get to see a cameo from Amanda Waller. That's really cool. And this entire scene was pretty awesome. She decides that this guy's actually a threat. Black Adam, there's more to him than he's just not your typical Superman superhero, right? He's kind of a anti-hero in a way. But anyway, they call on the JSA, the Justice Society of America, with Hawkman, Dr. Fate, Cyclone, and Atom Smasher. And I'm going to talk about this group. Dr. Fate kicks ass in this movie. I think that is a awesome character throughout. Really love the performance by James Bond in this movie. I know his name, not actually James Bond, but he was awesome as Dr. Fate. And I also thought that Hawkman was pretty damn cool as well. The other two characters don't get as much screen time. Cyclone is pretty awesome. I like her powers and the color and whatever she's doing. It's pretty damn cool. And Atom Smasher is kind of a comic relief character. I didn't really love his character. And in fact, the first time they show up, it's like they play off for comic relief. They don't know what's going on, and he's kind of confused and just kind of an idiot. He's kind of, and it's just, it doesn't work for me. I want this group to be a well-oiled machine. I want them to be awesome, and it doesn't come across as awesome when you try to give comic relief to show that one of them at least doesn't know what's going on and keeps making dumb mistakes, and never worked for me the entire time. Atom Smasher did not work for me at all in this movie. But I like this conflict between the JSA and Black Adam. Black Adam, who we like, the town loves him, which is awesome, but he will kill a mother effer. He does not hesitate, especially if you're an evil mother effer. It just takes you out. Just go ahead and eliminate you. Just get you off the face of the earth. Where the JSA, they're not for that. You know, you got to stand trial. They're for saving anyone who can be saved. So he'll be throwing guys down, and then the JSA has to fly down and save these people's lives who are not good people. And it's an interesting dynamic where you have, Black Adam telling them like, yeah, you'll let these horrible people live so they can kill more people and cause more destruction. But they'll say, yeah, we let them live because we're not the murderers. You also have the character of Ishmael. He's kind of the villain of the movie, and he's kind of a traitor. He looks like to be either a friend or a family member or something with the girl with Adriana and her son, who are main characters here that we pretty much follow, the main civilian human being characters that we follow in this movie. So Ishmael, he wants that crown bad. So he's coming after them. So this is kind of the action aspect, the kind of thriller aspect of the movie, is where Ishmael's just chasing them down, trying to get this crown. So there's multiple storylines going on, and Ishmael ends up kidnapping the kid, trying to get the crown back. The kid doesn't have the crown, but he's going to kind of hold him hostage so that the JSA and or Adriana, whoever's got that crown, will bring him the crown. And it's a pretty cool, it keeps the plot going. It's interesting. Yeah, we pretty much can guess what's going to happen, but it's still interesting to see. But there's the twist where Black Adam explains to the JSA, explains to Hawkman, he's not that kid. He's not the one who was given the powers of Shazam direct from the cave that we saw at the beginning of that movie. That was his son. And his son, in turn, gave the powers to him, I guess. So it's really interesting, and it kind of throws like, oh, because the whole time I thought, I didn't figure that out. Maybe other people did. I didn't know. I thought that was the freaking Rock. I wasn't really thinking too deep about it, but it was a nice little twist. And there's this really cool moment where he just says, they're trying to get him to say Shazam, so it takes his powers away. And he actually does it. He says, I'll say it, but agree that you'll never allow me to say Shazam again, so that he'll remain powerless. And he says it, and boom, and he goes to this normal looking person. It's got Dwayne Johnson's face, of course. It's him, but he's no longer buff. And I don't know, it was a really cool moment, a really interesting moment. And I thought it was pretty awesome. And we see more of the little kid as well, and flashbacks to him giving him the power. And that little kid just pulls it off. I mean, I really like that aspect. Anytime we go back to 2600 BC with that little kid, I'm enjoying it. But they try to parallel that with the new kid, and he's trying to inspire the town, because all the wrong that is going on in the town, it's nothing comparable with slavery that was going on in 2600 BC, but still there is some oppression, there's some problems going on. So he's there to try to inspire them, but he just doesn't. He doesn't convince me. That kid, that kid never really convinced me. I just didn't think he was the greatest. I mean, he's an okay actor, like he had a little good comedic tone and stuff, but he wasn't great. It's kind of annoying throughout, and it got worse as the movie went on. So I didn't love that kid, and I didn't love the speech. It didn't convince me at all. I didn't think the director could get out of him what needed to be gotten out of him to really pull off that scene where he's trying to convince the town. The little kid from 2600 BC, I thought he was a lot better. I think he was awesome. The other kid, the modern day kid, didn't really work. But of course, once he gets that crown, this villain character, Ishmael, becomes a super insane, crazy devil villain, of course, so we could have the massive spectacle at the end with the CGI fight. But they did bring some more interesting things into it. It wasn't just Black Adam versus this big... I mean, it was, but first, we got to see how Dr. Fate kind of sacrificed himself. It was a pretty awesome moment, and the dynamic between him and Hawkman and their friendship and everything. So there were some cool moments there I thought were pretty awesome. And it leads to the big fight. Of course, Black Adam does come back, and he is able to say Shazam again. And it was a cool leading up to that. The underwater scene thought was pretty awesome. And then the big spectacle fight at the end. I thought there was a little more weight behind it than some other movies have had in that big third act. Yes, it was a big CGI fest. Maybe they could have done something a little more meaningful. Maybe they could have done it better, concentrating more on story than just CGI. But I think there was enough there for me that I was engaged in the fight. I've seen all the CGI before and that craziness. It was pretty freaking awesome. I'll say that. It looked freaking amazing, but we've seen that for 10 years plus. We've been seeing that on the big screen. So it was nothing new as far as the special effects and just the action-packed craziness of it. It was awesome, but nothing mind-blowing. We've seen stuff like that before, but I thought there was a little more to it than that because of the story that backed it up, at least in my opinion. And it ends on a pretty cool note where the JSA agrees to kind of leave him alone. He's going to be the protector. The town loves him. I love this dynamic that this JSA comes in to take care of things. Like, where y'all been? Where y'all been? We've been jacked up here for years. Black Adam's our man. He's the man, dude. He's going to take care of things. Maybe he's a little bit unorthodox. We don't care. So I love that whole thing. And it ends pretty cool. And you have the mid-credit scene. If you don't already know, spoiler. Obviously, they're talking to Amanda Waller. She says, you better not leave this town. if you do, we got someone who can take care of you. He's like, dude, ain't nobody gonna mess with me. And that's where Henry Cavill shows up. Pretty cool, brief scene, but we see Henry Cavill again as Superman just to top it all off. Now, I don't know why that they let that leak out. So stupid. How awesome if they just can't keep a secret anymore. If they'd have kept that a secret and let us see that by surprise at the end when we're waiting for our mid-credit scene, because we know DCU has a mid-credit scene, we would have fucking just passed out right there on the spot in our chairs. But no, they pretty much let that leak out. So anyway, it was still cool. And overall, the movie's a fun ride. Like I said, I don't like the kid. I don't think he's a great, it's more the acting than anything else. Atom Smasher, annoying. Your token idiot that they had to put in the movie for comic relief. And there were some dumb jokes. There were some good jokes. There were some funny jokes. Quite a few of funny jokes that worked. And The Rock's cute humor, it kind of worked for me. Overall, though, I really enjoyed this film. I'm going to say that this movie, it's not a masterpiece. And let's just be honest. It's definitely not. Some would say it's not even a very good movie. But I personally think, as far as DCU standards and comic book standards, for me, this is a great film right here. I would definitely suggest you to check it out if you haven't, even though I just spoiled the whole movie for you if you haven't. But anyway, please hit that thumbs up, subscribe. Let me know what you think, what you thought of Black Adam. I really did enjoy it. I think it's pretty damn fun of a movie. And we'll see where it ranks in my new DCU ranking coming out very soon. You guys have a good one, and we'll see you next time.